Hey, Calibrate family, if you're going to hire a contractor, make sure you watch this. Okay, so I know some of you guys have these big ideas in mind when it comes to renovating your home or doing some kind of project on your home, and you know it's beyond the scope of your abilities. So you're thinking about hiring a general contractor. But before you pick up that phone, make sure that you have certain questions on hand to make sure you make the right decision. Because neglecting to follow up with these questions can really put you at risk financially and possibly physically. Not to mention the emotional toll it would take on you just to deal with hiring the wrong contractor. First thing you want to know right off the bat, are they licensed and insured? A contractor without a license is a big red flag. And yes, license requirements are not the same. They vary depending on the state that you're in. But it's better to go with the contractor that has more licenses than they need versus the contractor that just meets the minimum requirements in terms of licensing. If the contractor doesn't have a license, you're taking on all the risk. In other words, you as the homeowner would have to assume or take on all the liability for their safety, the contractors and all the workers. You would have to cover all the costs associated with any accidents that occur on the job site or on the premises. At the very least, you should have some kind of workers' compensation to protect you from any expenses due to injuries. Then next, you want to find out more about their background and experience. Now, time doesn't always equal experience, but generally it does. And it's good to know how long they've been in business and how many projects they've completed. Have they done jobs that's similar to yours? Did they finish on time or on schedule? How they answer these questions gives you a good idea if they're going to be a good fit for you. And if they seem irritated when you ask them these questions, that may be a sign that maybe you don't want to work with them. Because any good contractor worth their salt, they'll be happy to tell you. They'll be bursting at the seams to tell you about all the projects they completed, how many accolades they've gotten, how many awards they've gotten, whatever. But you got to be careful with that too, because sometimes when somebody boasts a lot about what they've done, that could also be a red flag. So at the end of the day, with all the concrete evidence you can gather from them or from references, you have to gauge their energy. And most of the time, energy doesn't lie. All right, so this next question is really a follow-up to the last one I just talked about. And that's asking them for a list of past clients, a list of referrals or references. This is the time for that contractor to shine and show their true colors, that they're not hiding anything, and that they're more than willing to give you a list of clients, a list of references to follow up on. Right there, it should show that their intentions are good. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, they always have a list of people in their back pocket that they pay to give them good referrals or good testimonials. Once again, that could be true, but what's the other alternative? Are they going to say, oh, I can't give you that because I don't have any? Well, that'll be worse for them, don't you think so? Once you get that list, start dialing away, or I would even go as far as to visit some of the referrals and get a face-to-face feel on what they say about the contractor. Look them up on Home Advisor or Angie's List, or even sites like Nextdoor, where you can get some kind of clue as to what they're about. In today's world, most likely they have a social media account. Check those out and see what comes up. If you find any negative reviews, go to the contractor and bring it up to them. See what they say. If they're forthright and upfront with it and say, hey, yeah, I had a bad customer, because in the real world, we all know that they're going to be customers you just can't please. If they know about it and they tell you the truth about it, then that goes a long way. The next thing you want to ask them is, will there be any permits required? And if so, who's going to handle the permits? Is it going to be you or them? If they're any good, they'll know exactly what kind of permits are going to be needed to complete the job. And they'll also know how to get them. But if they really want your business, they'll pull the permits for you. Yeah, it's going to take some time and it's going to require some patience. But if you want to do it right, this is what you're going to have to deal with. Because if you don't, when those inspectors come around, you're going to need a lot more patience than you thought you did. Any building project that involves plumbing and electricity, fireplaces and decks require permits. So don't overlook this question. This should be right up there with the rest of them. Next, you want to know what kind of schedule they have laid out for the job. A good contractor has an organized workflow that they go by. They know when the building materials are going to arrive. They know how much manpower they're going to need. They've estimated the cost of raw materials and what raw materials they're going to need, from the wood to the cement to the rebar to the drywall to the paint and on and on. They know how much all of this stuff is going to cost, including the man hours that they're going to have to pay for. They got the different trades scheduled out, from the foundation guys, to the plumbing guys, to the framing guys, to the drywall guys, and girls too. Everybody has their set time to arrive, and everybody's not going to arrive at the same time. A good contractor has all this stuff figured out. If the contractor can tell you that in a couple of days, then you know you got a good one. So after a good contractor breaks down the schedule for you, you might find out that they're running multiple jobs at the same time, if they're any good, that is, and you're just next on the list, which means you'll probably have more contact with the subcontractors than the contractor. But if that's a good contractor, those subcontractors have a good relationship with them, and they've been working with each other for a long time, which is also a green flag. Next on the list is how to deal with a contractor when they quote you so they can start the job. So you're going to want to talk to the contractor about their method of contract delivery. This is how the contractor breaks down all of the services and gives you a quote. And there are 3 ways or methods that the contract can be fulfilled. The first one is called guaranteed maximum prices. This is when you and the contractor agree that the project or job will not exceed a certain amount. There is a guaranteed maximum price. All the services the contractor renders to you will be broken down in a cost structure under this guaranteed maximum price. And then all that's left is for you to sign off on it. If the job's completed and there's money left over, then you and the contractor can split that. The next one is called a lump sum delivery. This is the most common contract, and it's simply one fixed price for the project. It doesn't break down any costs for the homeowner, and if there's any excess funds left over, the contractor gets to keep it. So you are taking a risk with this one, because you can end up spending more than the job actually costs. And then the last contract method is called the cost method, which means the cost is calculated as the total cost of the project plus the contractor's profit. Only thing about this one is you can end up covering the cost of any delays or unexpected surprises that happen during the process. Another question that's directly related to the last one is, how are you guys going to resolve any contractual disagreements that happen? Let's be honest, this stuff happens. Contractors and homeowners end up in fights for various reasons, and it's over some contractual disagreement or some violation the homeowner sprung on the contractor, or it could even be the contractor did something that warrants the homeowner's anger or frustration. So in order to nip that in the bud, ask your potential contractor, how do they intend to resolve disagreements if they arise? Will it be some form of negotiation and compromise, mediation, or some other dispute resolution technique? If your contractor has trouble answering that question, you might not want to proceed any further until that's resolved, or they can give you an answer. Okay, what about warranties? You should never neglect to ask your contractor about any warranties attached to anything project related. The construction industry usually stands by a standard 1-year warranty. During this time, you can call your contractor to fix anything that wasn't done properly. The warranty should cover all the materials, and all the services should be documented until the warranty expires. The contractor guarantees that the materials were high quality, new material. So if that wasn't provided, you have cause to get your money back. So make sure you're on top of things within that 1 year. And finally, you may want to ask about the cleanup process. Remember, the time that they spend cleaning up daily is going to cost you because you're paying for that time. So you can ask your contractor, will cleanup be daily or will it be at the end of the project? If it's at the end of the project, it won't cost you as much. But that's just my opinion. All right, guys, so you got a good set of questions to ask your contractor if you're going to hire one. These questions are going to save you a lot of time, money, and most of all, give you peace of mind. So if you appreciate the content, hit that like and subscribe button, share it with everybody you know, and I'll see you guys next time.